Live from News 7 KWWL, we've got you covered. This is KWWL News at 5.
Tonight, live here at 5 o'clock, Mother Nature now adding insult to injury as one Eastern Iowa highway fills up with a bunch of fender benders.
And an unfortunate mix of ice and fire, how one local fire department deals with the cold.
Plus, this weather is certainly no friend to water mains. And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele.
And I'm Abby Turpin. Thank you for joining us. And the top story, yes, continues to be the weather. Let's take a look at some snowfall video from downtown Rhinebeck earlier today. Even the church sign says it's too cold for services. We will be revisiting Rhinebeck a little bit later on in the newscast.
Let's take a look at one of those plow cams from just a few hours ago. This is up north, Iowa Highway 76 in the Decorah area. Thick layers of snow along both sides of the roadway, and Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg joins us back in the forecast center right now. Our first look at the forecast.
And that means more snow here through the evening hours, at least especially across our southeastern counties. But as you see, there's a winter weather advisory for a handful of counties where we've had some travel problems across the area in the last couple of hours, and the snow continues to fall in that area. Snowfall amounts between now and by the time it comes to an end here by 9 o'clock is going to be an inch or less. Now, as for Storm Track 7 live Doppler radar across the rest of the region, a light snow shower, a few flurries in our northwestern counties still, but still looking at Cedar Rapids and Iowa City to Monticello over towards Dubuque with some light snow. Here's a look at I-380 at Boyson Road. Northeast in Cedar Rapids, roads are looking okay, but again, there are slick spots out there, so please use caution. Slow down and allow extra travel time. As you can see, the DOT shows that the roads are partially snow covered across much of east central and southeast Iowa. Across the northern counties, a little bit better. Across the southern counties, the conditions are a little bit worse. But look at that. We're still below zero. Look for the temperatures to remain below zero here tonight and finally getting above zero here tomorrow as a warm-up is in store for the weekend. Details in just a bit.
And Mark just mentioned I-380. 2 police officers were injured while responding to accidents on I-380 today. This comes after Cedar Rapids police urged people to find an alternative route to using 380 as road conditions were slick with poor visibility.
The Storm Track 7 reporter on the scene today for us, Ashley Neighbor. She was at that accident scene live right now and what's becoming really a routine mess on that stretch of roadway. Ashley, tell us more about what you learned today.
Well, Ron, in wintry conditions, one accident can often lead to another, and that's exactly what happened on Interstate 380 today in Cedar Rapids. Take a look at some video I shot earlier today. Now, crews were working in the falling snow to pull people from their cars and clear roads. It's dangerous for everybody who's out. 2 officers were directing traffic in an SUV when another car lost control, hitting them. They were taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries, and no other major injuries have been reported. Police urge people to find an alternative route to 380 today. For some, that's difficult, like one family I spoke with traveling from Sheffield to Iowa City for a doctor's appointment.
You think of 380 being a more highly traveled road, so the roadways are probably more cleared. We come from a small town, so the smaller roads aren't always as cleared as nicely as the big ones, so we try to avoid back roads as much as possible. So that's kind of why we go ahead and want to take those main roads.
Now, they traveled down a day early to try to avoid these weather conditions. With Iowa 100 opening this past fall, there is at least another alternative main road for people. Now, Public Safety Officer Greg Bulow told me that from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., police responded to 50 accidents. Now, they were actually so busy responding to those accidents that no one had time to do an interview today. Live in the Cedar Rapids newsroom, Ashley Neighbor, News 7 KWWL.
Ashley, thank you. Now, good news here. There were no major injuries reported for any of the other drivers involved in that pileup on I-380 near 42nd Street that had happened earlier today. Well, turning back now to the town of Rhinebeck, firefighters battled a blaze on what was the coldest day of the year so far. A
lot of people let us know about this one, Abby. KWWL reporter Taylor Vessel joins us live right now in the studio. Taylor, why don't you tell us a bit more about this fire and how frigid air really hurt the fire crews trying to respond to the scene?
For sure, Ron. The fire call came in early yesterday morning, and when they arrived, the blaze had already broken through the roof. Now, it's believed it started in the attic. Crews did what they could, but the wind put much of their efforts on ice. Rhinebeck Fire Chief Chris Heasley walked me through some of the issues they face fighting fires in the dead of winter. He says one of the major issues is fuel. They treat the trucks each year, but the diesel in one still started to gel up yesterday morning, being out in that cold. Now they also drain the pumps to keep them from freezing as well, but that doesn't necessarily protect the outside.
And these were froze up, couldn't get them to open, so we had to go another route. Had to fill from up above. All the trucks have a fill hole up top, and we had to drop a hose down in there and fill it that way.
But that meant having to drive 5 miles each way from the station to the fire itself. As for how you can help firefighters in the dead of winter, check your furnace or anything that actively burns in your home, like a wood-burning stove. Make sure it's clean. And keeping the area around hydrants clear of snow can make a world of difference. In studio, Taylor Vessel, News 7 KWWL.
Taylor, thank you. And the fire chief also said that that home is a total loss.
Here's some video of a New Jersey landmark destroyed by fire this week. A fire at the Markall Paper Mill started Wednesday night and burned throughout the evening. These pictures are from the morning after as the fire continued to smolder. See how the water turned into ice, blanketing parts of the remains of that historic structure.
And then crews in Cleveland, Ohio are working to repair a water main break that turned the streets into sheets of ice. Look at that. Now crews were finally able to stop the leak early this morning. Right now they are in the process of making repairs to the water main. Several streets are closed as a result.
Right here in our own backyard, one area city trying to repair a water main break of its own. This break over on Michigan Drive in Evansdale. As you can see there at the scene there, Evansdale city leaders say customers in the area should plan on being without water during this repair process. Now they also say people might experience some rusty water once again the water starts flowing freely again in Evansdale. They're working to get it done as quickly as possible.
Meanwhile, the city of Waterloo says it is concerned about water main breaks as well. So why do they happen more often when it is bitterly cold? Well, one reason is that water expands and contracts in the earth, causing ground movement that can stress the water lines, and sometimes, yes, they can snap. In this weather, repairs can be a nightmare. Machines won't turn on, the water freezes, and sometimes repair crews have to dig through ice to find the break. Repairs can take more than 24 hours in some cases.
It's a big deal. We've got guys that are very dedicated. We will not stop until it's fixed, but our dewatering pumps will freeze, their clothing will freeze. Every water main break we've ever repaired has been wet. We've never had a dry one yet.
Now, Waterloo Waterworks, they say that they have equipment in a heated garage, and they are also using the special gel so their diesel does not freeze. Also, they have their tools ready and their cold gear on hand.
Good to see Rick still has a sense of humor, that's for sure, in these conditions. While another East Iowa city says it's now safe to use water again as usual in the city of Hills in southern Johnson County there. The issue has been resolved. There was a possible frozen line going to the water tower in Hills. Now the frozen line, limited water supplies, but everything's back to normal now, we're told.
Coming up here at 5 o'clock, we're going to speak with the U.S. Postal Service after it halted operations yesterday.
And lawmakers still scrambling, trying to make a deal on border security. That's coming up right here in just a few minutes.
Right now, here is a live look at the Storm Track 7 live Doppler radar. Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg will have the full forecast coming up in just a bit. You're watching News 7 KWWL. We've got you covered in Cedar Falls, Waverly, Dubuque, and of course, your hometown.
And of course, if you have news, pictures, or video you'd like to share with us, you can do so easily going to the KWWL Facebook page. And while you're there, please like our page. Stay up to date on breaking news, weather, and sports information 24 hours a day.
This is KWWL News at 5 with Ron Steele, Abby Turpin, and Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg. We've got you covered.